Well, welcome back. This is another excerpts from a Spiritual Ascension. I've been doing these um, little excerpts, as I call them, for little tidbits that of information or things that come from my experience along my journey that will help you along your own path during your journey. So if something kind of happens to me, it may be a good way for, this video will come to you at the right time, um, to know that, yes, this is happening. This is the reason why. So I wanted to talk a little bit about understanding, which you probably say, well, Marilyn, you should know that. But so let me back up a little bit. If you've been following my story, you know that growing up, I was probably always very dependent on other people, no matter if it was my parents, raising me. Um, and then when I got married, my ex-husband, through marriage, and then once that marriage dissolved, it was all about me now focusing on I need to make money to provide for me and my dependent. So that was my only focus. Gotta make money. I gotta make money. I gotta make money. And also, I think I come from a family of hard workers. And, it wasn't that you were going. Matter of fact, it reminds me of how old was I? 17, I think. And a lot of when I was in high school, a lot of other kids had, their little side after school jobs and things like that. And like, oh, I'd never do that. And didn't think I maybe had to or something. And I remember my mother said one day, well, what do you want to do? Like for work? I go, I don't know. What can I do? Like they had taught us how to type in school. We're talking a long time ago. It's not the same kind of type. It was actual typewriter. And um, so she says, I had never had any experience. So maybe I could do some clerical work or receptionist or something like that. So she had taken me to a nursing home and they didn't have a receptionist position open, but they had a nurse's aide position open. I'm 17 years old. I was thin as a rail. I'd never done anything remotely of taking care of another person. But anyway, once I start getting those first paychecks, you're like, oh, wow, this is great. I can go shopping. I can do whatever I want. I can go out to eat, and you're always gravitating towards wanting more of someone else giving you a paycheck. So I say all of this to say that when I left this last job, so also you may know that I worked on Wall Street for 20 years and made a really good income, was making six figures, had a very nice life in New York City, beautiful apartment uptown, and shopping and eating out at the nicest restaurants and really having a good, fulfilling, I shouldn't say fulfilling, but a good material life. And I knew that paycheck was coming, right? And even through any recession we had, any kind of through 9/11, everything like that, always got paid. There was never in that 20 years that I did not receive a check from my Wall Street firm. And you know it's coming, you're dependent on it. And then in 2019, through Spirit, I was led to release that job and then to go on to start my journey. And I took an early retirement, um, which gave me some, like a severance package and some pay, enough to get me by for a while. And I thought I was going to go right into doing my spiritual work, which, of course, 2020, we all know what happened then. That did not happen. So, all that to say that I was so dependent on a paycheck, going out and getting hired, going to, getting my degree in business and um, doing all these leadership classes and courses, and, you know, that I'm going to be something in business, right? And that someone else was going to actually give me a paycheck and I would be dependent on that. When I left that Wall Street job, now I'm saying, okay, I'm now going to be self-employed. Yes, other people are going to be paying me, but I'm going to be doing this myself. And then, of course, like I said, 2020 happened. We all know what happened. I ended up working at a department store for a short period. And there we go again with getting that paycheck. Jumping ahead now, working a couple more jobs after that. Um, I see now, I recognize that the universe wanted me during the times that I had jobs since 2020, it was to get me stable, because the universe is usually taking you from point A to point B. And as you know, I come from New York City. Actually grew up in New Jersey, but was, living and working in New York City. And now you see where I'm at now. So there's this period of travel, actually, for me. I don't know if it may be your case, that I needed to get from point A to point B. And because everything had been taken away from me, I mean, everything had been taken away from me, I needed to now get stable. So whenever I was able to get stable, save up money, I needed to buy a car in order to leave New York. Once I was stable and had enough money, I left that job, and the universe takes me somewhere else, and the instability starts again. So now again, I have to go and get another job. But the job would always seem to just kind of fall into my hands, if you know what I'm saying. Everything is divinely orchestrated to go your way. And you're also along the way supposed to come across people that you need to help to awaken. So in June, when I got the tap on the shoulder from the universe to say, okay, it's time now to leave this position. And I knew that was going to be it, because it had already been told to me that I was going to leave my job and that was going to be it. And I was going to be doing more spiritual work. So I was like, oh my God, finally, I don't have to work for anyone anymore. The universe is going to provide. But then really, what does that mean? I thought, okay, I'm going to do my spiritual work, do my readings, teach, what I know spiritually. But the universe has a way of showing you things on such a deeper level than you had ever anticipated. So it's not just about now the universe delivering you, clients or things like that, and handing you like money. That's not what it's all about. The understanding that you have what you need when you need it. And even things that we think that we need, that we're so used to having, sometimes you get to the point where you say, I really didn't need that. I thought I needed it, but you didn't need it. Coming to a point where I had so much money saved, thinking I could get through this period of time. But then I had stocked up my refrigerator. I felt good for a while. And then coming to this period of like, okay, Spirit, what are we doing here now? Um, and really now seeing how the universe provides for you in all other practical ways of your life, you know. But of course, you have to be smart about it. But then looking for how the universe brings people, certain people, not to stay, but to provide you what you need at the right time. Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. The thing is, you get to this point now, I'm done with my journey. My 9 year cycle has finished, and I'm coming into this manifestation period of time. There's never going to be a point where I need to know now go seek out a job because the work that I'm supposed to be doing is here. And um, watching now the universe provide whatever it is I need, the clients, the resources, whatever it is, that's the way these manifestations now come in. And that you become, say, dependent, it's a codependency as far as between you and the universe. This working together to you do the work and they kind of provide what the resources or the people or whatever at the right time. So hopefully you understand that. I'm looking for a word, I can't think of it. Um, Co-creating, thank you, co-creation with the universe. And you can't just sit and say, okay, universe, bring me this, bring me that. Part of the work is done by you, part of the work is done by the universe to bring you the right people, the right resources, the right clients, whoever it may be, at the right time so that the resources that you need do come to you. And maybe this video is for me because maybe I needed to understand that, especially when you worked all your life for someone else, for a human being, for a company. And especially working for a Wall Street company, they treated me so well and I did really well as far as income. But now to lose all of that and to say, okay, what do I do now? But to understand that you're going to be blessed with so much more than what any job has ever given you past. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like a reading or to talk to me about your own journey, there is a link below to spend time with me, and I'll see you in the next one.